Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the corner. Welcome to your latest Chelsea news. I see fans on social media celebrating like we've won a trophy. I mean, I don't know whether some of you guys have seen the latest news, the financial reports, the recordings, all of those figures. They've been presented to us. They've been, recorded. And it looks like we've generated quite a healthy profit. So fan base out there saying, look at how well we are run, man. Look at how well we are run. And it's almost like you'd think that we've won a trophy. The jubilation, the enthusiasm that you see on social media, it's mad. But at what cost? At what cost? How have we done this? How have we actually managed to generate such a big profit, considering we were looking at large losses in previous years, in prior years? So look, the kicker here is that we've sold Chelsea women's team to BlueCo. That was something that a lot of us thought that was happening in the background. Now it's confirmed that that is what's happened. So asset stripping is the key notion here, is the key catchphrase here, I suppose. Asset stripping is something that we've done previously. We've sold our couple of hotels that Chelsea Football Club used to own. We've sold it back to BlueCo. We've sold some parts of the parking lot as well, and now the Chelsea women's team. So look, this mechanism of generating profit by selling your own assets to the parent club, it can only last so long. After a while, you really need to start thinking about winning football matches, winning trophies, getting back into Champions League, or you basically operate as a mediocre type of a team like your Brightons and, those sort of teams in world football, and really reducing the cost of running the football club in terms of wages and whatnot. And then you can still just rely on player sales and looking at selling gems and still generating profit. But in that model, there is no way you're going to be able to win anything down the track. So without further ado, let's delve deeper into this financial news, which is coming from none other than our own Benny McCarthy, Ben Jacobs, ladies and gentlemen. When it comes to reporting these sort of things, I don't mind Ben Jacobs, him writing a whole heap of essay, which actually makes sense. But when it comes to transfer news and all of that kind of stuff, yeah, stay away from Ben Jacobs. So look, let's go through all of this. We've also got news in regards to the goalkeeper situation. We've got other bits and pieces as well that we need to cover. But before all of that, ladies and gentlemen, first up, Eid Mubarak to each and every one of you guys that are celebrating Eid. I celebrated Eid yesterday. This is the second day. So big up to all the brothers and sisters in Islam. Eid Mubarak, celebrate hard. And also everyone else as well, all the non-Muslims as well. Eid Mubarak to you guys as well, because it's a community thing as well. So big up to each and every one of you guys. Hope you guys have had a fantastic Eid. Now let's get into the news. Benny McCarthy, Chelsea declare a profit for 2023-24 before taxation of 128.4 million compared to a loss of 90.1 million for the prior year. Now, I don't know whether this is accumulation. So if you guys remember PSR, you can't have 3 years of consecutive losses accumulating to more than 105 or 110 million, right? So last year it was 90.1 million in loss. So we got back into the zone. Now, this is the thing. Someone confirmed to me in the comment section, and I need to do my own research on it as well, whether some of these figures are an accumulation, an accumulated running balance. So right now, for this 2023-2024, before taxation of 128.4 million. Now, if that is just purely for 2023-24, or is it an accumulated running balance of 100? Let me know. But yeah, huge profit. Last year was 90.1 million. This was down to increased profit on disposable of players, registrations, and repositioning. That's the key word now, repositioning. Asset stripping? No. Don't call it asset stripping. Repositioning. Basically just taking Chelsea's assets, stripping Chelsea of all its assets. Chelsea in itself is not worth anything. It's all BlueCo. BlueCo owns Chelsea. BlueCo has the portfolio. So whenever down the track, if ever the owners sell up, you'll have to sell BlueCo as a portfolio. BlueCo own Chelsea women's team, Chelsea men's team, and Strasbourg, the hotels, the parking lot, and the lot, the whole jazz, basically. Repositioning of Chelsea Football Club Women's Limited. The women's team was sold from Chelsea Holdings to BlueCo. So, as I said, how long is this sustainable? Unless and until you start making some proper money through being in Champions League, front of shirt sponsorship, increasing the revenue via bigger stadium, unless and until you actually do this, I don't know how long you can keep stripping the assets. I don't know if there is any more assets left to strip. So if we don't make Champions League, holy smokes, some of these players that you think, oh no, being toxic again means you're being toxic, they're gonna have to go. They're gonna have to go. It's as simple as that. In order to balance the books, they'll have to go. We'll bring in the money, and then we'll balance the books. Chelsea add that this new approach will ensure CFCW has dedicated resources, management, and commercial leadership solely focused on the growth and success of the women's team. Now, look, I can't disagree with that because the women's team's actually been doing really, really well. The women's team's doing well because the same model is not being applied over there that is being applied in the men's team. In the men's team, find gems, youth, policy, this, that, the other. Nonsense, right? In the women's, they're actually going out there and buying the best of the best. Because in the women's team, there's not much money. So when there's not much money, you can't do all of these gems business over there. You can't find the next brilliant 15, 16-year-old girl out there, girl, and hope that you're going to sell that particular girl for down the track for, I don't know, 20, 30 million. It's never going to happen because in the women's, the highest rated women that we recently bought just cracked the 1 million mark. So you're not going to make that type of money in the women's team. So that's why in the women's team, that policy doesn't work. That's why they're going out there buying the best and they're winning. That's the only way to generate income is by winning and creating a good brand because the money is just not there. Overall revenue in the year fell to 468.8 million due to the men's team not competing in the Champions League. Very understandable. Matchday revenue increased to £80. 80.1 million pounds as an average attendance of approximately 40,000 was maintained. This needs to be doubled. We need to create a bigger stadium, make it 80,000 stadium so that Matchday revenue can be doubled, and that they'll go a long way. They'll go a long way in helping the sustainability rules and regulation. Premier League sustainability rules and regulation. The growth in commercial revenue to 225.3 million was driven by increase in the player loan income and sales of non-matched activities, including stadium tours and merchandise sales. So there you go. Loan moves are also helping out. Of course, it helped out previously as well under Roman. We used to have a huge loan army. Decreased operating expenses, profits on disposal of player registration of 152.5 million and a profit on disposal of subsidiaries of 198.7 million. So that is that the value? Is that the value of the women's team? The 198.7 million led to the group recording an overall net profit of 129.6 million after tax, which is brilliant. We're back into the green, but for how long? Chelsea had previously explained BlueCo wanted Chelsea Women's and Strasbourg positioned equally and independently, while Todd Bowley put a 115 million plus valuation on the women's team. Sale to the BlueCo has strengthened CFC's PSR position along with fulfilling that strategic goal. Of course, it strengthened it. But what next? What next season? What about next financial year? What are we going to do? Are there any more assets to strip or reposition, or we are going to actually have to sell players if we don't make it to Champions League football. The exact valuation of Chelsea Women's is not clear yet, but Chelsea confirmed a profit on disposal of subsidiaries of 198.7 million. This includes the CFC sale, so that probably is the figure of the women's team. That number encompasses all assets sold from Chelsea Holding to BlueCo, similar to the two hotels in the 2022-23. So if you guys remember, the loss that we incurred prior to this season, it was also minimal. I mean, large in the sense that it's 90.1 million, but it would have been a lot more had we not sold those two hotels in the 2022, 23 accounts. And with that, Chelsea would have made a 70.1 million pre-tax loss, 69.1 million after. Chelsea Women's will likely account for at least 150 million and potentially more based on Todd Bowley's suggested ballpark. It is unclear if Kings Meadow bought for over 2 million in 2016 has been sold to BlueCo. Wow. So Kingsmeadow was bought for over 2 million in 2016 and has been sold to BlueCo for nearly 450 million or plus. That's incredible, man. That's incredible. The women's team is doing well, and the brand of the women's team is fantastic. It's grown as well. So, but that's a exorbitant amount of increase. The breakdown of Chelsea's finances will be on Companies House in due course. So we'll wait for that. Once the breakdown comes, I think they'll be interesting to see all of those figures. Check this out. BlueCo Extra is an account. I don't know if you guys follow. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. People are losing their mind over this. How BlueCo leaders transformed Chelsea into a profitable powerhouse. Come on. Transformed into a profitable powerhouse in just 2 seasons without Champions League football or a trophy. Wow. Without Champions League, without anything, we are still profitable. It's almost as if we don't need that. We don't need that. We could care less about that. This in itself is a trophy. We have become a financial powerhouse. Next step, win silverware, secure UCL qualification, expanded stadium, new. It's next step. Like it's just a tiny little step. Not much to go. Just a little. Oh my God. While keeping the club financially strong, check this out. Nice little reporting. The main thing to look at is the net profit loss in the bottom. From 2020 to 2021, 2021 till now, 23-24. As you can see, finally in the green. Let me know in the comment section, is that an accumulation or is that each season? Because if that's each season, from an accumulated point of view, retained profits, what they call it, that'll still be a red. So unless that is an accumulation, which I think it is, maybe it is an accumulation, loss carried forward, and that's the final loss. And then next year, the loss went down a little bit, and the year after it went down a little bit, and then now we're in the green. Could be accumulation. But in the comment section, let me know. BlueCo Group transformed Chelsea into a profitable entity within just 2 seasons without Champions League football or a major trophy. Where are those critics who doubted the BlueCo leadership? Where are you at? Where are you at, people? As I said, we shall see how it all looks like. I mean, you found loopholes. You're kings at finding loopholes. These owners, they know how to run business. They're an investment firm. Do you know what I mean? They know exactly what to do. This is what they've done previously. This is not new to them. They've gone to companies, took them over, saw all the unnecessary stuff, got rid of them, and saw some assets, brought them into their holding company, and then, brought in their managerial expertise, which they have in running companies. I don't know about football. And then uplifted that company and then sold that company off for 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, 50 times that time. So they know how to run businesses. Football's different though. Football's different. You either win trophies, be in big competitions, get those front of shirt sponsorships, have a big stadium, earn money, or you do what Brighton, Ajax, Dortmund, all of these clubs too, where they have good, obviously, fan bases. They've got good big stadiums. In terms of Dortmund, they've got a huge stadium. Ajax, I think, also has a pretty decent stadium. Brighton, no, but these teams generally generate a lot of income through player sales. They find the gems for cheap and then they sell them for extortionate amount of money. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, let me know everything about this, the financial figures and whatnot, how you feel about that. We're going to now switch on to some team information, team news. Palmer, Jackson, and Madueke all in training today, which is fantastic news. I think, look, we're going to start doing the live streams again. We're back. Ramadan is now over. Now we'll be back full scale, inshallah, God willing, to do all the streams. The run to the end of season now. This is serious. We need to make it to the Champions League. There's no two ways about that. We've got some players coming back, Cole Palmer, Nicholas Jackson, Madueke. Let's see what they can do when we have the full strength team, which looks like what we are going to start having for the final period of this season. It'll go a long way. As long as we have the full strength team, we should see some goals in us. We should hopefully see some goals. I know even when these guys were all available not that long ago, the goals kind of dried out. But hopefully all of these people, they've had good rest. They've come back fresh from their recovery, and we can kick things on. CFC Daily, final little bit of note, which is in regards to the goalkeeper situation. Petrovic and Penders will be given the chance to prove themselves at Chelsea this summer, with the club preparing a full assessment of their goalkeepers. Look, this whole goalkeeper situation is such a mess. We don't have an elite goalkeeper, so that's why we're willy-nilly giving opportunities to everyone next season. Petrovic, Penders. Look, Petrovic has been doing good. one maybe that warrants an opportunity. Whether he is someone who can take us to competing in the Premier League title, I don't know. Competing in the Champions League as well, if we do make it to the Champions League, I don't know. That's a question mark. And are we game enough to give him an opportunity? Maybe we are. But it's crazy how Chelsea Football Club, we're making goalkeeping position, like we've got auditions for it. Petrovic and Penders will be joining in. I don't know how we're going to audition all four, because there's Sanchez, there's Jurgensen, or do we even need to see Sanchez or Jurgensen? I don't know. It seems like a mess. It seems like all of these goalkeepers will have a chance in the preseason. They'll get to audition. Obviously, we've still got the rest of this season left to see what Sanchez and Jurgensen can still give us. If it was me, I'd get rid of Sanchez. I'd probably even get rid of maybe go with Petrovic as a starter, have Jurgensen as the number 2, give Penders a Premier League or Championship loan. I don't know, maybe Strasbourg loan for Penders. I will go from there. Chelsea are not currently expecting to sign a new first-team goalkeeper in the summer, although that could change if tempting or unmissable opportunity arises. It's crazy. I mean, it's all a gamble. If there is an opportunity, look, when they say if there's an opportunity, you best believe it's going to be a young goalkeeper who no one's heard of, low wages, low transfer fee. We're not going for anyone elite. So anyway, this is what it is. It's not something that I completely support in order to run Chelsea Football Club and compete at the highest level. You can do that with a club like Strasbourg, but not going to get away with it in the Premier League. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about some of the players coming back, your thoughts about goalkeeper positions, situation that we've got with the 4 goalkeepers, and also all the stuff with the financial figures that has dropped. Smash up the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe. Hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Until next time, take care. See ya.